Good morning, friends. Coach Tom here, kids.iplaytennis.com. We are in week 5, and we're talking today about why your kids should actually be playing tennis in the first place. Now, obviously there's some benefits to playing tennis: physical benefits, emotional benefits, social benefits, physiological, sociological, all those different things. We're going to talk about those on Wednesday, but there's some other bigger things about tennis that really just kind of make sense in terms of getting your kids involved in the sport. Probably the first one for me is that, this really is a truly lifelong sport. My mom at 78, 79, 80, however old she is now, she still plays 2 or 3 days a week. So when you think about that, when you look at your friends who are playing sports, how many of them are playing soccer? How many of them are playing football or baseball, right? So even though those are kind of some of the high level youth sports that kids are playing these days, the ones that are most widely participated in, they're not the ones that we carry with us through life. So when you think about tennis, you think, hey, this is a game that maybe my kid's not going to go pro or play at a Division I college, but they can still learn the enjoyment of the game, and this can carry with them literally through the rest of their lives. And that's key. That's, tennis is a way, it's kind of a gateway, if you will, to a healthy lifestyle, right? You're active, you're out there being social, you're outdoors most of the time, not always, but there are some great things that tennis gives us that aren't necessarily just about being athletic and playing the game. One of the other things I love about tennis is that it's not necessarily age-based. I've got a nephew who at 14 years old could stand toe-to-toe with me pretty equally, pretty evenly, and not really have to worry about the age difference or the size difference, right? He could hit the ball, he could move the ball, he could play with me toe-to-toe. And that's really the case. Like, if you've got a family of a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old and parents who are in their 40s, you can all play this game together. It doesn't have to be just a 6-year-old playing a 6-year-old. Likewise, it doesn't have to be boy-girl or man-woman. Tennis can be played all over the spectrum. You can have a 10-year-old boy playing against a 40-year-old woman, and they can have a nice match. So that's, another kind of benefit of this game is that you don't have to think about, finding opponents or even hitting partners who are the same age or the same gender as you. Now, another great reason for kids to play tennis is that there's a very low risk of injury, right? You're not getting concussions, you're not getting banged up playing football or soccer or any of these games that have that have violent collisions or potential for violent collisions. I grew up playing hockey, I thought it was great, but yeah, it's a pretty violent, pretty dangerous sport. Versus tennis, where you may have some knee issues and some ankle issues and maybe some shoulder issues if you're playing regularly, constantly for 20, 30, 40 years, but there's not going to be the same level of injury or risk of injury that you would find in other traditional sports. There's another big one for me that a lot of people think tennis is this very wealthy person's sport, that it's very expensive to get involved in tennis. And the truth is, it's not. It's cheap. Public courts are free. A can of balls costs about $3, and a junior tennis racket is $15 at Target. So literally grab a $15 racket, a $3 can of balls, and head to the public court, and you're set to go. You're ready. The reason that a lot of people think that tennis is expensive is traditionally tennis has been a game where we get our kids out there and we give them lessons and lessons and lessons forever. They just take years and years and years of lessons, and they don't actually get out there and play. And if you think about some of the other sports, basketball, baseball, these kids, they just go out and play, right? If you want to play basketball, I hand you a basketball and you go to the court and you play. You don't take lessons to learn how to play basketball so that you can then play. Now, certainly as you develop your talent, you may take lessons later on, but you start by playing. And tennis has inverted that. Tennis has said, let's take a bunch of lessons for 3 or 4 or 5 years before we actually get you playing matches. And I think that's where the cost comes in. And it's instead, just watch these videos on the site here, watch what we're doing here, and get out there for free on public courts. The last thing, and don't get me wrong, I love golf, but I think tennis is becoming kind of the next golf. It used to be that people would go out and they'd have these great meetings and these business meetings and they'd close deals on the golf course. And I get it, you're sitting next to somebody, you got 4 or 5 hours out there. These days more like 6 or 7 hours, but that's the thing. Who has that much time to just waste, right? Tennis, and I've seen this kind of in the community around here, I've seen a lot of people out there playing tennis as part of a business meeting, as part of a business agenda, as opposed to going out to the golf course. So who knows, maybe tennis is that next kind of golf thing where you're getting your business meetings handled on the tennis court. So a couple of different reasons why your kids should be playing tennis. We'll talk Wednesday a little bit more about the actual kind of sociological, physiological, psychological, emotional, all those different things that you can actually get from playing tennis. At the very least, get out there with your kids and give them a chance to play. It's a great sport to develop athleticism, coordination, social skills, conflict resolution, all kinds of different things. So get out there on the court, see if they like the game, see what's happening. Send me questions, send me comments. Let me know what works and what doesn't. Maybe they like it, maybe they don't, and I can certainly help you understand why. That's it. Come back on Wednesday. We'll talk a little bit more about the specific benefits that tennis can give to your kids. As always, keep it fun, keep it simple, and I'll see you all soon.